video, I'll be discussing how Donald Trump won the state of Florida in the 2020 election. This is, I think, video like 4 in the series. And I would like to make a little disclaimer. I'm actually not going to do Texas. I'm going to leave that blank. It is a swing, or it's looking to be a swing state in the future. However, it is a state a lot different from a lot of these states. Because it's still shifting and it's not become a swing state quite yet. So we're still waiting, or it's still obviously a swing state, but it's not become a state that we've seen Democrats really win in recent memory. So it's a bit difficult for me to talk about how Trump won it when a Democrat hasn't won there since 1976, even in states that have voted for the Democrats for a while. They're still competitive, like Minnesota. I believe has the longest streak of voting blue out of any state. Yet, it's still I'm still gonna talk about that and not Texas because Texas is still shifting. I've already made a video about why it's or how it's shifting and if Democrats could win there in 2024. So if you that's I guess could be the best I'm gonna do for that with the state of Texas. Moving on to the state of Florida. If we go take a look at 2020, Donald Trump won the state. He won it by a very large margin. He actually won it by 3.3%, which is a lot larger than his 1.2% victory in the state back in 2016. So how did he do it? First off, back in 2016, or I guess I'll kind of analyze this because he won in different ways. First off, or actually, I guess this is not necessarily first off. This is how he won. He won in Pinellas County, won in Seminole County, and won in Duval County. Now Duval has been shifting to the left. It hadn't quite shifted by significant amounts at that point. And Seminole County, a competitive swing county, or yeah, I got basically a swing county. And then Pinellas County. This is I don't want to say the bellwether of the state because it's not, but it's a lot like the bellwether is St. Lucie, but it's a county that you essentially it's not crucial. Republicans have won without Duval or Duval without Pinellas, but it's a lot like one of these really competitive swing states where you'll be much better off if you win it, and Trump did win it. So that's essentially how he won back in 2016, basically winning how you would typically think that Republicans would win. However, in 2020, he lost Pinellas by 0.3%. He lost Seminole by 2.8%, and he lost Duval by actually a pretty large margin. What is that? That's 3.8% in Duval. So you would think that he would have won. Had Hillary Clinton had those types of numbers, she probably would have won by around 2%. But she didn't. And the thing, and I know this is in the news and it's been all over, and I guess I say in the news, it's been talked about. We already know it, but I'm gonna say it once again because it is very important. Donald Trump did much better among the Hispanic and Latino vote than he did back in 2016, particularly in Miami-Dade. If we go take a look at this, this is a county that Hillary Clinton won by she won it by 29.4%, if I did my math correctly. Basically a 30% margin of victory. That's a very large victory. But if we go take a look at the shift from 2012, which county, obviously we see some counties up in the Panhandle, we see Pinellas County, barely, we see some counties, Duval, Seminole, some counties just throughout central Florida. But what county do we see the most that shifted? Miami-Dade. This county shifted by 22 percentage points. 22 points. Miami is what gives Democrats any chance at winning, or not only Miami, but these big cities, Miami, Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, Tallahassee, these cities are what give Democrats like the ability to win. And Democrats did, or at least Joe Biden did, horrendously with Hispanic and Latino voters. And I do think that he did unusually bad for a Democrat. I think that if Democrats were to run somebody, Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, I'm trying to think, I don't know, like Stacey Abrams, trying to think of Democratic frontrunners at the moment. I don't know why my mind is like drawing a bit of a blank. Elizabeth Warren, I guess she doesn't really talk about much. Andrew Cuomo. A lot of these people I think could do a lot better among the, or actually not Elizabeth Warren, she couldn't, but a lot of these people, Kamala Harris, I think could do better among the Hispanic and Latino vote. I personally think that she would lose Florida, just because I don't think that she would be able to do as well in, first off, the Panhandle, but also areas like Pinellas, Seminole, and Duval. But if we go take a look at these exit polls, we go look at Hillary Clinton in Florida, back in 2016. She won 62% of the Hispanic and Latino vote. She won by, I'm gonna try and do the math, 27%. That's a fairly large margin of victory. However, Joe Biden won it by 7%. 7%. And I just want to go take a look at this. Yeah, he won Miami-Dade by about 7%. This is a horrible showing for Joe Biden among Hispanic and Latino voters. And it wasn't necessarily all over the nation like it was. We've seen that he did worse among Hispanic and Latino voters. However, he did about as well nationally as he did among Hispanic and Latino voters or he did better nationally than he did among Hispanic and Latino voters in Florida. He did about as well as Hillary Clinton. Mississippi's not a Democratic state. He did about as well as Hillary Clinton did back in 2016. Similar margins, what we see Democrats typically do among Hispanic and Latino voters. However, he was not able to do that in Florida. Now, a lot of these voters in Miami-Dade County, in Miami, came from failed attempts at socialism, and Cuba is obviously one of the big ones. A lot of those Central American and I guess a few South American countries probably. A lot of these nations with or I guess Northern South American. It's weird whenever there's an area with like a name that's like Northern or Southern, but you're saying like the Western area. Like I have to say Northern South Africa would just sound weird. But other areas like Venezuela, for example. Although a lot of this, like this is a lot of that Hispanic Latino vote is Cuban vote, and a lot of these Cubans fear socialism because obviously they fled to Florida because they feared socialism. Now what Donald Trump was able to do, and I thought I said this in the video. I thought that Joe Biden, I think I said it in the video. I remember saying it. I think I said it in the video. But I remember saying Joe Biden, I think, could do much better when it came to repelling attacks that he was a socialist, and that stuff like that. That he was a radical liberal socialist. And I thought that he would have been able to do well to deny it, because I thought that like the American people are going to see that yes, he is fairly moderate regardless of what Trump is saying. However, that messaging worked, and as a result of it, Joe Biden did horribly in Miami-Dade, and it cost him the state. Now, Democrats I think could do better among the Hispanic and Latino vote. We have seen that Hispanic and Latino voters do favor the incumbent does typically do better among Hispanic and Latino voters. However, we don't see it by shifts that dramatically. We don't see 20-point shifts. That's not something that we typically see. And Democrats will have to focus a lot of their efforts into Miami. I would say in the 2022 midterms, but I honestly don't see them winning Florida unless they have some sort of miracle. Honestly, like I said, like Val Demings could maybe win back a lot of voters. I don't know, but a lot of these candidates would I think could like Kamala Harris, like I was talking about earlier. But I think that they would struggle and they would actually have to do the work. They couldn't just say I'm not socialist. They would actually have to put in some more work if they wanted to be able to win there. But I think that they could ultimately do it. I don't see it happening though at this point. For them to be able to win, they would have to do better among the Hispanic Latino vote. They would have to win in Pinellas, Seminole, honestly at this point probably just Pinellas. Maybe Seminole and Duval. I don't think Obama won. Obama might have won in Seminole, I don't know. He did win in Monroe County. which is 7.1% Trump County. But that's essentially how Donald Trump won. His messaging was phenomenal in the state of Florida, especially in the Miami-Dade. Honestly, this entire little strip of Democratic support, Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. His messaging there was phenomenal, and that's ultimately what won him the state of Florida. By 3.3%. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. Stay tuned for my next video, and I will see you all there. Goodbye.